See, sis,
What's going on, good people? This is One Man Gang. I'm here with my man.
the Vanilla Gorilla.
And this is the Gorilla Gang Podcast 3421. All right. We got a couple things we're going to tackle today. First thing I want to start with to get right into it, we're going to talk about Gayle King. Okay. Gayle King.
Wait, before we get into Gayle King,
Oh, okay.
you want to address the birthday?
Oh, yeah. Just to let you
They're
know.
like, what is going on with balloons?
This isn't how we do it. It was the Vanilla Gorilla's daughter's birthday, and he had a beautiful birthday party for her. I'm sure she was very happy with everything that had happened and everything that he bought her. And this guy was excited himself, almost like a little kid. Hey, man, I got her this, I got her that. So, it was good to see all that, and it came through very well for the both of them.
Yeah, so shout out to little Celina,
Yeah.
turning 6 tomorrow.
Yeah, happy birthday,
This was the
Celina.
first birthday party I've ever thrown, just put together. But I do have to say, my 16-year-old daughter Caitlin did a great job setting up. So she did a lot of this setup. She made the gift bags. So it's nice having older kids when you got a younger kid.
Yeah, I only have one kid, so I, no older, no younger. He's about to be driving, which, at first started off as a nightmare for me, but after getting in the car with him and everything, he's done very well. The reason why it was a nightmare for me, is because when we first started out, he hit the gas on the car and he turns to me and he says, "Hey, Dad, so driving isn't like GTA." And I almost had a heart attack. And he actually did very well, even the first day, and the reason why he did so well is that he trusts what I was telling him. A lot of times kids like to think they know everything or what have you. He actually humbled himself, listened to me, and he does very well. To the point that even now, when I take him around to drive or what have you, I don't really grab for the steering wheel as much as I would have, when we first started out. So he's doing pretty well with that.
Go ahead.
He actually, on Monday, if I'm not mistaken, does his first drive in the class because they do the classroom part first, and now he's going to actually get a chance to go on the road. So, hopefully he does very well with that. I'll be cheering him on for sure.
Yeah, I had the opposite with my 3 older ones. They were all hesitant. So we were driving at like 5-10 miles an hour, and I'm like, yo, you got to speed up. And also, I would take them over that parking lot.
Okay.
And that's when I had the Dodge Charger, which was extremely fast.
Right.
And the parking lot was empty. So I was like, look, just step on the gas as hard as you can. Go as fast as you can through this parking lot, because I want you to understand what it feels like to go fast.
Yeah. So
I kind of went reverse with them. They were timid, and I had to make them go a little harder.
Gotcha.
And
Well, the one thing I'll say, which is funny, is, for those of you who don't know, my father was actually 50 years older than I. I was the last child of his, and he taught me how to drive. So I technically drive like an old man. You know what I mean? I don't really go over the speed limit. I might do 5-10 miles an hour. That's about it. And even when I catch myself maybe going about 15 or more miles over the speed limit, I'm like, oh, snap, I didn't realize I was going that fast, and I'll slow down. So I definitely drive like an old man, but that's okay. I haven't had a lot of speeding tickets. What's going on, Cuzzo? DJ
but you
Kev
also
Nice?
drive for a living, though. So
Yeah.
So driving, when you drive for a living, it's not as... The thrill of it is going when you're when it's just you and you're just driving your regular car. I mean, when I'm doing Uber, I'm like, that's chill time for me. Like, I don't have anywhere to go fast, so I'm good.
That's very true, but the problem is also my truck that I drive is governed, so it's governed at 65.
Right.
So on 95, I can't go over the speed limit. So, I push it down to the floor and just keep going, man. I don't even think about it,
Okay.
which is kind of nice. Except when I get on I-70, which is out western Maryland, you can go 70 miles an hour. Some people want to kill me.
Oh, I know Western Maryland.
Yeah.
I told you I went to school there.
I know you know. I'm just, for the people out there, I know that you know.
I-70, 695, 795. All that stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Colin's been in an accident. Nothing terrible, just rear-ended somebody. I think he was texting. If he's listening, he was texting, but he's trying to say some shit about the sun.
You said Colin?
Yeah, the
Did
sun.
you
was
try
in
to
his
do
eye.
a magic trick to fix the car, buddy?
I think Carter, like, barely tapped the car in a Wawa parking lot. So, I mean, whatever, it happens. It's good to get an accident out of the way. Then they kind of know, and then it makes them think, okay, well, now I got to be a little more cautious.
You want to do better. You know, that's the one good thing about mistakes is you typically, if you have any intelligence,
Well, if you have
learn
good parents, and you,
Right.
you know, and I'm confident that they've been brought up well enough that they're the type of kids that learn from mistakes. And I'm sure your son's the same way.
Well, I've been in a couple fender benders professionally. But as far as my own vehicle, personal driving, I've been in one accident, and it didn't involve a car. Interesting story. I was working at the News Journal, and I just did a double shift around Christmas. At least when I worked there, you could have as much overtime as you wanted during Christmas time. So I had just done a double. Was driving home with my wife at the time, and I think it was 19 or 20 years old, and driving home on
You said 2019. I was like last
19
year.
or 20 years.
No, it just the way
no,
it came
no.
out. It was funny how it came out.
This was some years ago. So I got off the double, and I'm on 495, but not the one in Maryland, the one like you're going to PA, and all of a sudden, man, I didn't even know I had my eyes closed, and I open them, and there's a minivan in front of me. And I'm like, I'm not killing no kids. So I get over in the shoulder. I'm doing good for a minute in the shoulder. And I try to get back into the lane because the minivan must have saw I was getting ready to hit them because I hit my brakes, and then all of a sudden they took off. So I'm doing good on the shoulder. I go to get back in the other lane, and the tail end must have clipped the concrete barrier. And it swung me to the other concrete barrier and hit that concrete barrier. And all I heard was my wife at the time screaming, "Ah!" Just screaming, right? She didn't have a seatbelt on.
Oh.
I actually held her with my arm the whole time. I hate to bring up that movie. What was the one about the football player, The Blind Side?
No,
You remember he saved
Football
his little he saved his little foster brother by holding on to his arm. And excuse me. Hit the other concrete barrier. I'm holding on to her. She's screaming. Finally, we stopped. I asked her, was she okay? Ah! I said, are you okay? Ah! I said it one more time. Finally, she said, yeah, I'm fine. And honestly, it was the car that got the brunt of the damage. The car wasn't actually totaled. They were able to fix it or what have you. I had a Pontiac Sunfire at the time, which, by the way, anybody who's owned a Pontiac Sunfire knows that it's probably the worst car ever made in America. Just so you know. That was a terrible little car. And it was my first brand new car ever.
Was it brand new?
Brand new off the lot.
I've never had a brand new car. Never. When I was married, my wife bought one. Volkswagen. It had 9 miles, so it had like maybe somebody took it for a test drive.
Yeah.
But that was it. It was brand new, and I never even drove it because it was a stick shift, and I'm not a stick shift driver.
Oh man, that's the funnest way to go, man.
I'm sure. I wouldn't mind learning, but I don't really think they make them as much anymore.
I don't think they do either. I saw
Maybe a
meme.
Mustang.
Yeah, a sports car.
Sports type cars, yeah, they'll make them.
I
But
saw the meme on Facebook, and of course we know Facebook memes aren't necessarily the truth, but it said something to the effect that only 18% of America's population could drive stick shifts. Now, I'm pretty sure that's not too far off because there's a lot of people I talk to that don't know how to drive stick shift.
Yeah.
But I know how to drive a stick shift in a car, and driving it in a truck is a whole nother thing.
I don't even think they
People don't
teach.
realize that.
I don't know that they even teach that in driver's
Yeah,
ed.
they-
I mean, I never had
For the
driver's
trucks?
ed.
Or-
No, in
oh,
driver's
okay.
ed, like kids in high school. I don't know that they even teach that.
Yeah, I don't know,
But
but truck driving school, that's what they trained me on, was a stick shift. So
so I mean, if I had a car and I had one, I wouldn't be opposed to to, I mean, learning how to do it. But I mean, it's getting my ass in the sports car. That's usually the problem with it. I'm
Boy
too
Dawson,
big.
Sean White, what's going on? Nice to see you on here.
But yeah, this is funny. This because we talk about this all the time. How we rabbit hole sometimes. We just start talking about like we started talking about Celine's birthday, and we've now gone. Oh, and I promise we'll get back to Gail King. But it's just funny how we'll rabbit hole down different issues and they turn into long discussions. But